Hi everyone, my name is Allison Grosz. I'm an attorney and a partner with Hemrick O'Malley PLLC in New York City. Today I want to do a quick follow-up video about the new parole fees that I did a video about last time because we have a little bit more information since the last video came out regarding the new $1,000 parole fee that has taken place or that has been implemented since the middle of October 2025 per the big beautiful bill that was passed by the Trump administration and Congress in July 2025. So to recap, there is a new $1,000 parole fee for certain individuals who have been or will be paroled into the United States. Now, as I talked about in my last video, there are many different kinds of parole statuses in the United States, and parole means a request to be admitted into the United States on a temporary purpose for a specific reason. Now, as we talked about in my last video, not everyone with parole status is going to be charged this $1,000 parole fee. Now we have a little bit more information. Since the last video came out, many people have started receiving automatic boilerplate language notices about the parole fee and how the parole fee may apply to them. What's important to know is these notices that the Department of Homeland Security is sending to people are mostly boilerplate language that generally applies to everyone who has ever applied for parole in the United States, who still has an active parole document granted to them. What this means is the Department of Homeland Security has sent general notices to many people across the board whether the fee applies to their situation or not. And what it's allowing people to do is to determine whether or not they may qualify for the parole fee. It's notifying them that they may be determined eventually to have to pay the fee. And if they have to pay the fee, to be prepared in advance that that fee will be due. So a lot of these notices that people are receiving don't actually apply to their specific cases or situations. They're just general notices warning people that this fee exists and that they may have to pay the fee unless they meet certain exceptions. Now, what's important about this notice that's being sent out is it reiterates the fact that a person does not have to pay the fee even if the fee applies to their situation or circumstance until certain conditions are met. And what those conditions are is, first, a person must first be granted the parole status based on discretion by the Department of Homeland Security or any of their agencies. A person must also be determined to be required to pay the fee, meaning the fee applies to their particular situation or circumstance. And third, a person must be at a port of entry coming into the United States with their parole status, or the Department of Homeland Security specifically contacts them that the fee is due for their case, meaning that a person will not have to pay the fee until they are at a physical northern or southern border of the United States or at an airport port of entry. Only then will this fee be collected unless the Department of Homeland Security notifies you by mail that you are physically in the United States under a certain kind of parole status, and therefore you must pay the fee even if you are not at a port of entry. And this will be in limited circumstances that people receive these sorts of notifications. What's important for everyone to keep in mind is that these notices have been sent to everyone across the board, and that applies to people who have even been granted their green card status or legal permanent residency in the United States. So this notice is being sent to everyone whether or not you owe the fee, just to notify you. What's important to keep in mind is that if you do have a advanced parole document, meaning that you have some kind of advanced parole based on an application for a green card or other status that you have filed with the Department of Homeland Security and you've been granted advanced parole, you need to be prepared when you travel to prove that you meet an exception to this $1,000 parole fee. There in the notice is several exceptions that are listed, and many of those exceptions are parole statuses based on different humanitarian reasons why somebody would try to be entering the United States. For instance, reasons such as attending a funeral, reasons such as a person who is called to testify in court. These are very unusual and limited exceptions to the parole fee where people will not have to pay it. However, one of the primary exceptions that's in the list the Department of Homeland Security includes as the exceptions from paying the fee are people who were granted advanced parole status based on a pending green card application. Somebody with advanced parole, because they have applied for a green card and are waiting for that green card to be adjudicated or decided, meet one of these exceptions and will not have to pay the $1,000 parole fee at a port of entry if they travel and re-enter the United States. However, it's important for anyone planning to travel who has advanced parole based on a pending green card to know that you need to carry on you evidence of your pending green card status and therefore evidence that you meet an exception to the $1,000 parole fee. If you can't prove at Customs and Border at a port of entry that you meet an exception to this fee, well, then you will likely have to pay the fee. So it's a smart idea for everyone planning to travel who has advanced parole to plan on traveling containing the evidence, meaning the receipt notices, your work authorization, and any other documents that you have showing that you've been granted the advanced parole. Of course, you must travel with your advanced parole document, and we recommend also traveling with evidence of your pending green card status in the form of receipt notices or any other evidence that you may have related to that. Of course, this is a still ongoing matter. There are a lot of updates that we're still expecting to receive as these notices come out and as people start to re-enter the United States under their parole statuses. We're happy to answer any questions for you if you want to call us at 833-848-7838. You can also find us online at hemrick.law, and we're happy to answer questions about this matter or any other immigration matter. Until next time, I look forward to talking to everyone again soon.